an opportunity to dive into the numbers and give you a closer look at what football in the state of Texas looks like. And so I want to take a look at some milestones. We, on this program, of course, Math Tuesday, we're big fans of round numbers because they are definitely a construct, but it's a construct that we just go along with.
Yeah.
You know, number 301 doesn't matter any more than number 300, but it's fun. It's fun to make banners. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to take a look at some milestones that we could be seeing in 2023. There are, of course, from a coaching perspective, from a program perspective, we've got an eye on a few different areas to see how we can explore. Of course, there's milestones from a personal perspective. I think you go back to last year, Claude Mathis winning his first state championship, right? Reginald Samples winning his first state championship. Denny Faith winning his first state championship, right? And then there's programs that win their first state championship, like Hawley. That's obviously a milestone. What we're talking about specifically, because it's Math Tuesday, is that we're looking at round numbers. Opportunities to reach those milestones where, for example, I'll give you an example, and this is not in the world of football, but my wife, on Friday, will finish her 15th year in the classroom.
Nice.
Right? Now, is the 15th year more, remarkable than the 14th year or the 16th year? No. But are we going to make a big deal out of 15 years in the classroom?
Oh, yeah.
You're darn right. It sounds better.
Well, yeah, and sometimes you gotta take a stepping stone to give yourself a pat on the back. If you're not climbing for that, then what are you climbing for?
100%. And so we want to take a look at some milestones that could be on the horizon in the 2023 Texas high school football season. We're going to start with the coaches, and specifically at the very top of the UIL Texas high school football coaching wins list. So Phil DANAHER, of course, is the all-time winningest coach in Texas high school football history at 490 wins. Second on that list is a guy who's going to coach this year, Randy Allen, head coach at Highland Park. But I regret to inform him that he will not be able to catch Coach DANAHER this year. He is still 55 games behind Coach DANAHER. He's at 435, where Phil DANAHER is at 490. However, he can make a nice little dent in it if he keeps on trucking. But he is second on that list. What I am interested in, you see Denny Faith. Denny Faith right now is 5th on the all-time UIL Texas high school football list. And actually, he passed Jim Streety with his state championship run. He tied him with the semifinal win. He passed him with the state championship win last year. So he's now 5th all-time in UIL Texas high school football coaching wins history. He cannot get to 4th place. He's 50 behind Gordon Wood. However, he can get, with 6 wins this year, he can get to 350. And he can become just the 5th coach in Texas high school football history to get 350 wins.
Which I think we would all be shocked if
they
Albany doesn't get 6 games.
I don't want to spoil the magazine. We think Albany will probably be pretty good.
Yep.
I think they're going to win 6 games. That's a hot take. That's a free bit of analysis you don't have to buy the magazine for. Okay.
But buy the magazine.
You got Jim Streety there at 6th. You've got Dennis Alexander there at 7th, who we just saw at the Texas High School Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And then down there, you've got Reginald Samples, the head coach at Duncanville. Reginald Samples is sitting at 326. With a big year, with 14 wins, he could tie Dennis Alexander for 7th on the list.
Yeah. With
15 wins, he could pass him. So he could be all alone in 7th place in UIL Texas high school football history with a big season. It would take a really big season, but he could certainly do it. And again, spoiler alert, Duncanville probably pretty good this year. I think he'll have a shot at it.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you'd have to have a great year, but 14 wins or 15 wins, I think, is certainly.
It's not like they haven't had 15 wins in the past, 4 of the past 5 seasons.
Absolutely right. So those are the teams. That's the very top of the coaches list. But now I want to dig down deeper. Obviously, you can have teams getting to 350, which would be huge. But here are some other coaches in UIL 11-man Texas high school football that can get to big round numbers, let's call it. Larry Hill at Smithson Valley. Larry Hill at Smithson Valley can become a member of the 300-win club, which is a class that does not take long to call roll. Let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He could become the 15th member of the 300-win club with 3 wins at Smithson Valley. Again, I think he's probably got that going to happen. Same thing with Richard Barrett at Kennedale. He's sitting at 247. I think it's a pretty good chance he's going to get to 250, which is a pretty big accomplishment there. Todd Rogers at Argyle, if they get another big year, 15 wins, he can get to 250 wins, which would, again, a pretty big milestone in coaching. Jack Alvarez down there at Marshall, only with his next win, will join the 200-win club. Bo Robinson there at Yoakum, who has been wildly underrated throughout the course of his career, is going to get to the 200-win club whenever he gets his next 2 wins, which, again, seems like pretty standard fare. Burnett Pickle. Burnett's coach, Brian Wood, is almost certainly, I don't know. Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty good. Yeah. 5 wins, and he can get to the 200-win plateau. Jake Fazell at Gunner, pictured to your left, can get to the 200-win plateau with their next 6 wins there at Gunner. And then Chris Souza down there at Beeville Jones can get, if they can have a big year, a double-digit win season at Jones, he can get to the 200-win mark as well. Those are coaches who have an opportunity to get to big round numbers heading into the 2023 season. Again, Larry Hill feels like that could happen. Mm-hmm. Richard Barrett feels like it could happen. Todd Rogers would take a great year.
Yep.
But I would say definitely in at least the next 2 years, he's going to get there. And then Jack Alvarez, Bo Robinson, and Jake Fazell for sure look like they'll do it. Brian Wood, right now, I think Burns probably third place maybe there in district. Mm-hmm. So I think 200 wins is probably within reach. And then Chris Souza's got a great shot there at Beeville Jones as well. So that's the coaches. But one thing we maybe don't pay a ton of attention to, maybe we should, are the all-time winningest programs in Texas high school football history. So let's take a look at the teams that are the all-time winningest programs in Texas high school football history. Lapping the field, Highland Park, number 1, 875 all-time wins. Obviously, you've got to be playing football for a long time as well. Conroe Grand Oaks is probably never going to catch Highland Park. I hate to break it to the Grizzlies. Right. We'll hear from their coach coming up here in just a moment. But probably not going to catch Highland Park. 875 wins. Mart is next at 820. Then Amarillo. Then you get to Temple. Temple is Temple probably, they have these are 2 moving targets because obviously all these programs are active. Mm-hmm. I do not think that Amarillo is going to win 7 more games than Mart this year. I do not think Temple is going to win 14 more games than Amarillo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ladder kind of shifts together.
The top 4 all seem pretty set, I would say. I don't think you're going to see any movement.
No.
You get down 5 through 7, and they are all bunched together. So Plano's at 776. They're the 5th winningest program in Texas high school football history.
Coming in with a new coach this year,
Coming in with a new coach. Refugio's 1 win behind him at 775. If you had to pick right now, you'd probably say that Refugio is likely to have one more win than Plano and at least tie them, and then perhaps even surpass them with 2 more wins than
I think that you could say that Refugio is even likely to go with 16 wins. So It just
correct.
It's kind of one of those things.
I would say one of those things that Refugio likely, in my opinion, to move into 5th place all time. And then you've had this long-standing battle between Brownwood and Longview. Brownwood and Longview presently have the same number of wins, 769 in their all-time history. Both are going to be pretty good. I think both, it's interesting. I'd say right now, probably just because of what they did last year and what they have coming back, Longview might be the favorite to take over sole possession. And then depending on how it breaks, depending on what Plano does, the winner could move all the way up in the 6th place.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think they're going to catch Refugio. Again, I expect Refugio to have a pretty big year. But, let's just, Longview could rattle off 14 wins and it wouldn't necessarily surprise us all that much. And that could, depending on what Plano does in their first year, the new coach, could be enough to move into 6th place. Anyway, that's the all-time wins. But then there's a couple of other teams that I want to highlight here. Obviously, we mentioned Temple. Their next win will be their 800th win. They'll become the 4th program in UIL Texas high school football history to win 800 all-time games. Albany, we mentioned that Denny Faith has got some things to play for. The program has some things to play for as well. If they get to 13 wins, they can join the 750 club. There's only 10 teams that have ever won 750 games. Cameron Yo joined that list last year. Cameron Yo and Cuero actually joined that list last year. Gilmer's in the same boat. They're sitting at 734, or Gilmer and Corsicana are sitting at 734. If Gilmer runs the table, they can get to 750. Corsicana runs the table, they can get to 750. Gilmer seems more likely than Corsicana right now, but there's that. I want to skip that one and then move to Stanford. Stanford's at 690. With 10 wins, they can get to the 700 club, which there's only 20 members of that. Garland, same thing. They can get to the 700 club with a big win. They're at 688. And then Georgetown, their next win will be their 600th.
This we were in an era of very popular G logos.
We were, yeah. It's
Gilmer, Garland, and Georgetown.
Gilmer, Garland, Georgetown, all the G's. But I want to focus on the other one.
Dub.
Okay? So right now, the 21st all-time winningest Texas high school football program is Wichita Falls, sitting at 691 wins. Now, Old High, of course, has state championships to their name. They're a big-time decorated program.
But this is about to be the last shot.
This is it.
That's crazy.
So
wherever they finish this year, that's the number.
This is Wichita Falls', if you didn't know, Wichita Falls' final year of existence. Wichita Falls ISD is going to close all 3 high schools with Ryder, Hershey, and Old High. And they're going to consolidate them into 2 brand spanking new high schools starting next year. So this is the last year for Old High.
Yep.
And they have an opportunity to join Elite Company and be one of, as of this writing, 20 programs to be a 700-win program. But the buzzer goes off at the end of the season.
And being that close to 700, that's...
You can't be at 699. Don't win 8 games.
Yep.
Don't win 8 games. I would
Freeman,
honestly,
are you listening?
honestly, probably better off winning 7 than 8. Okay?
You do not want to end at 699.
Win 7 or 9, but don't win 8. Okay?
Come on,
Because then
Dub.
you're going to hear about it forever. Anyway, that is one thing I'm going to have my eye on. Can Wichita Falls get to 9 wins? Because if they do, they'll join the 700-win club. So there you go. There are some milestones to keep an eye on. By the way, if you are interested, and I can say this because my dearly departed grandmother is an alum, but North Dallas can become the first program with 700 losses. They're 697 right now. Yes.
Well,
it's tough. You know what? Run the table. Run the table, Bulldogs.
I was going to say 16-0, state
16-0.
champs.
15-1.
Yeah,
Well, they
that's
can
fine.
slip up somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Yes, but that is one thing. Another thing that we'll keep our eye on. North Dallas at 697.
Yeah, not a celebrated milestone.
No, but a round number nonetheless, which is what we talk about here on Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday.